Hi, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Yay. I had a little bit of a few technical difficulties, but I made it back online. I so appreciate anybody who was watching before, and I had to sort of cut things off. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm here right now recording in my grandmother's house because, like I said, I've taken a huge hiatus from social media. I actually have no cell phone right now, and I have been battling with the phone company to get that back up and running. So that was them. And great news, I have my brand new phone coming to me on its way. So it'll be here in 3 to 5 business days. Fingers crossed. And so that means I won't have to be in my grandmother's home live streaming for you guys. From here, I'll be able to do that from my own device. So that's really awesome. So thank you, thank you, thank you for bearing with me. I hope that I can continue this reading. I'm just going to do a quick breathing meditation in just literally 10 seconds. And that's just to make sure that I can get back in tune with the same vibe that we were tapping into earlier. So it's going to be about 10 seconds. All right. So, like I was saying, this Queen of Swords is this message from our divine feminine. She's on top of things. This just goes to show you. For instance, I haven't had a phone, guys, since July 11th. Okay, July 11th. I don't know if you've checked your calendar anytime soon, but it is damn near Halloween. And I haven't had a working cell phone since July. It's as if the universe has just asked me to put a lid on everything, sit down, shut up, take what we give you and take a break, a long break from the world. And I was forced into this break. I didn't break my cell phone on purpose. I didn't, put myself into this situation. It kind of just happened to me. And so what I've been able to do during that time is really strengthen myself emotionally and spiritually. And so this Queen of Swords energy is very much all about, even for me, what's been going on in my life as my manifestation of the divine feminine. Shit's popping off, right? My mental capabilities right now are outrageous. I know my capabilities. I know what I can manifest. And last week I decided that I was going to have a phone. I didn't care how, I didn't care when, I didn't care, what needed to happen. It's just I knew that it was going to happen. And that is the tenacity. That is the internal knowing that the divine feminine is expressing through this card. Is that I know what I'm capable of. I know what needs to be done, and I trust that the universe is going to give me everything that I desire, that I need in order to thrive. And so this mental strength is really, really, really abundantly pushing through the ethers right now. I'm really connected, I think, myself with this card, and I hope that it resonates with some of you because the energy from divine feminine is really just, let's get this shit done. Get the show on the road. Let's move it and groove it. And so I hope that helps. My life, is a perfect depiction of these cards right here. And, that trusting in the universe that we all need to sort of embody. So let's leave this aside for now. And I'm going to I'll pull those back in. I'm going to pull some cards for the divine masculine and see what messages he has for us. Oh, he's ready to talk right away, apparently. Knight of Cups. So our lovely divine masculines are on their own journey. I hope you guys can see this. I'm really, I can't quite get a perfect angle and see you guys at the same time. So we're makeshifting right now. We're making it work. The divine masculine is very much still in the well, he's sort of exiting the energy of a page. He's exiting that knowledge seeking and learning sort of stage, and he's moving into his kingship. And so his emotional strength is really coming through with this Knight of Cups. This knight is chilling. He is emotionally stable. He is recognizing the power that there is in holding still and being steady. He's still a knight. He's still got his sword. Might not be shown here, but he's still got his sword. He's still ready for battle if need be. But he's holding steady. He's calm. He's collected. He knows what's ahead, and he knows what's going to take, or what it's going to take, in order to attain the things that he wants to attain. So he's very much in this position of just holding steady, being calm, using sort of that calmness to serve as almost like a weight, like a table weight. It's very grounding, it's very earthing, it's very steady, this Knight of Cups. Let's see what else he has to say. Yeah, the Divine Masculine has gone through a big transformation himself, and I believe he's still going through that transformation. I think that, he's already, in many ways, he's already attained those abilities that are needed in order to create, for instance, abundance and, receiving of wealth. But there are other things emotionally where he was sort of unsteady and not feeling as if he was deserving of the divine feminine, or of a connection that is that. Well, we all know what the divine connection between two beings can be, and if not, whatever you think in your mind, let it be that. Let it be as amazing as what you believe it to be, because it really is freaking amazing as far as I'm concerned. But the Divine Masculine is coming into that knowing. He's coming into that space where he's like, holy shit, this chick right here is like outrageous, blowing me out of the water, and I want to provide stability and love and caring for her. And so he's really putting himself in a position to be emotionally stable, which is amazing. So the next card out is the Justice card. So this card is, for me, as a message from the Divine Masculine. He's trying to say that all the things that he has done in his life, all of the ways that he's been, they're starting to balance out. He's not necessarily judging himself, but he's judging the outcome of things. He's seeing the outcome of some of the choices that he's made, and recognizing where he can, shift or change, and where he needs to hold steady. And so things are very much being balanced out for him. And this is mentally. You see, there's the Lady Justice here is holding a sword. So there's a mental aspect to this justification in the energy of the Divine Masculine. He's having the Creator balance things for him. So he's attaining this emotional balance, not only through his ability to hold steady, but also in that steadiness, you can learn a lot, you can hear a lot, you can receive a lot. So he's very much receiving this balance that he's able to now project here in this Knight of Cups through the action of Lady Justice and her balancing of dualities and bringing things into calm and balance. So he's really he's gaining his energy and strength from her, which is amazing. Oh, so yeah, his emotional strength is coming from his energetic balance, the balance in his mind, the balance in his in the way that he looks at the world, in the way that he interacts with the world. Everything is just being very balanced out. It can also, this Justice card can also depict anything that's sort of been going on physically for the Divine Masculine in this realm. I try to differentiate between the etherical realms and the three-dimensional realm, just because it can be seen as two very different things. So in the 3D, this card can also speak toward having relationships balanced, or if there's any court matters or anything like that, things are going to be balanced and evenly spread, and to make sure that everyone is receiving what they have put in. It's an equal ebb and flow here. So things are really being balanced out in the physical manifestation. Now, both of these cards are mental and emotional. Like with the swords, it's more of a mental energy. With the cups, it's more of an emotional energy. However, what I'm getting here is just that this position of balance, and then how it's affecting the divine masculine emotionally, is allowing for that balance to then become manifest in the physical world. And so it only makes sense that the next card that pops out is rods, the five of rods. Fives always explain change, but we'll get into that in a moment. I want to talk about the fact that it's rods. Now, how I view the tarot, so swords, like I said, is a very mental energy. The cups is more of an emotional type of energy. Coins or pentacles is more of a physical, tangible, three-dimensional manifestational energy. And then the wands or the rods are the actions in which, or not the actions, but the process that occurs when you're moving from the mental into the pentacle energy, which is the physical manifestation. So the rods are the power to manifest, to take the thought and transform it into physical matter. So because he's got this mental strength and emotional strength, he's then able to translate it into the world and take that energy and actually manifest it into physical reality. Now, he's also inviting other energies in. Now, this is usually the five of rods for me is more about like camaraderie, using the sources that you have around you, using people, using the connections that you have in order to implement change or implement something new, to get to the other half of the five's in the middle, right? The other half of the rods are on the opposite end of the five, and the first ace of rods all the way to the four of rods is on the other side. The five is kind of smack dab in the middle, and it represents the change, the shift from one energy to the other. But this five, what I'm receiving right now, is that it's very much about ancestral power. These hands are not necessarily physical hands. What they are the energies of the ancestors, the energies of those people who have passed before us that are watching and moving and existing in their own realms. And the divine masculine here is allowing them to penetrate his being physically. And that process is allowing him to not only have the mental strength and emotional strength, but it's allowing him to take those strengths and now turn them into something that, turn them into a new way of being. So the shift is this shift in being. The divine masculine, really, there are no pentacles out here because he's already on that tip. He already knows how to create wealth for himself. Right now, what he's trying to do is create emotional and spiritual wealth for himself in a new way. He's sort of already figured out physically in this three-dimensional world how to get what he needs to get, but he's done it on his own. He hasn't done it with, the help of the divine feminine and her energy in many ways. And so he's allowing her deep ancestral ties to now penetrate his being, and his own ancestral ties. This is really deep. This is really darn deep, divine masculine. If this is what y'all have to say, then I don't even know. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because the divine masculine feels very concrete right now. He's like, this is what it is. This is where I'm at. This is what I have to say to you guys. Take it or leave it. He's taking his advice from the higher realms right now. He's not interested in making deals with people of the physical world because he knows He knows that the etherical and emotional realms is where he needs to be moving through. So this is his message, point blank. This is where I'm at. Damn. Okay. So let's now get some, maybe a little bit of advice from our lovely creator of all things for our physical manifestations of divine masculine and divine feminines here on earth. What can we do here to align more clearly with the energies of the etherical world? How do we bring all of that love and manifest it into the world? What do we need to do in order to start being more, true versions of ourselves here? So let's start with the divine feminine. What messages does the universe have for our divine feminines here manifest on earth? We've been working our little tails off, trying to make shit pop. So what can you give us that can help us with our divinity and our evolution? Creator of all things, what do you have to say to us today? Messages for the divine feminine. This is going to be a good one. I can feel it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So the rods for me are like super duper special. I really love rods, or wands, if you will. But this card in particular, the Six of Rods, first of all, the number 6, for some people can bring about, it's a very versatile number. 6 is a number, is one of the numbers of the Trinity, 3, 6, and 9. Okay. It's also one of the 3 numbers of the mark of the beast, right? 666 is the mark of the beast. 6 in many people's minds can sometimes be understood as a very dark number, but it's also the number that represents the physical world. So there's a darkness to this number, but there's also a divinity to the number 6 because it's a part of creation, of the Holy Trinity, if you will. There's lots of different names you can use to describe that energy, but I like to use the Holy Trinity. The 6 of Wands here. Wow, okay. Let me get my words right, guys, because there's a lot of messages with this one card. So the wreath to me, I'll show you a bit closer. So the wreath, anytime I see a wreath in the tarot, it represents the world. It represents not just the physical world, but the whole world, all the people in it, all the beings here, every insect, every cloud, every human, every rock, every grain of sand. It represents all of it. And also, the circle of life, right? Moving and continuing, and the fact that it's cyclical. What's the word I'm trying to say? Cyclical. Thank you. So it's like the cycle of life. Now, not only that is this wreath in this this picture, but there's also a very dark energy that is representative, not only in this knight who's atop this horse, but also in the horse itself. Like, take a look at the horse's eyes. Like, he's one deep horse. There's like a darkness to him, but it's also a white horse. And so the message that I'm getting, the strongest message that I'm receiving from this card is that the message for the divine feminine is that continue to embrace not only the brightness of you, the gallant side of you, the part of you that is a healer, the part of you that is, here to give an offering to the world, but also embrace the sides of you that are dark. embrace both the dark and the light within you, because the world encompasses all. The manifestational power comes through not just acknowledging the greatness, but also acknowledging the opposite of that, whatever word you want to use to describe the opposite of that energy. Let's just say light and dark, for instance. There are both aspects in every person. You have an ego, use it to your best advantage. Don't allow the ego to run your life, as many of our lovely humans like to do on a regular basis, but be aware of the ego. Be aware that it's useful, and what are, come, try to do your best to come into the understanding of what your ego is meant for, how you can positively use the ego, how you can keep the ego in check. So not only are you living through your divine self, but you're also living through your three-dimensional worldly ego self. And you're bringing both of those aspects of you together and manifesting into the world. Wow. Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. I hear my lovely grandmother approaching. Yes, Granny? Hi.
It's up to you.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Granny's making sure that I keep on my regular schedule. We had a bit of a hiccup today. So anyhow, I'm just going to do this one card because I'm feeling like Spirit only wants to show this message today to the Divine Feminine. It's like, embrace all of you. Don't be unapologetic. Be yourself in all aspects, whether that is, indulging in certain things that you enjoy that may or may not, in somebody else's judgment may look like a bad thing. Who gives a shit? Who cares? This is about you. This is about bringing your contribution, your footprint here, leaving your legacy. And in order to truly step into the world and allow creation to take place, you need to bring in not only the energy of creation, but also the energy of destruction. There's life and there's death. There's light and there's dark. There's up, there's down. There's in, there's out. There's yin, there's yang. There's a duality to everything. So in order to manifest effectively in the world, you really do have to embrace both energies. Divine Feminine is being asked with this card to embrace both energies and to find the best usages for those energies for her. Each person is different. Each Divine Feminine is going to be different from the next. But whatever that means to you, it's important that you embrace both aspects of yourself. I had a friend very recently. We had a great conversation, and it's my greatest mate in the whole world. I am not going to drop her name only because I haven't asked her whether or not I can drop her name on social media. So I'll ask her, and maybe if I have another story about her, she'll say, heck yeah. Anyhow, hi, best mate. I love you. We had a great conversation, and in this conversation, she helped me to name my ego. And I decided that my ego's name was Olivia. And the reason that I chose Olivia was because my ego is all kinds of Olivia Pope, like all kinds of Olivia Pope. What's that show, guys? What's it called? Anyway, I'm sure you guys know. I'm terrible with remembering names for things. So anyway, I named my ego Olivia, and the process of doing that helped me separate myself, my truest self, my highest vibration of who it is to be me, from my physical aspects and parts of me that have been created based on experience here. And since then, since that separation of ego and self, I've really been able to step into this place of embracing the ego and embracing the darkness, embracing some of the negative experiences that I've had, and translating them and turning them into sources of power, ways to help other people, ways to help myself. There's so much that I can do from those experiences. And so it's very, very important right now for the Divine Feminine to really get a hold of who she is, um, and to separate who you are from who you've been and make those comparisons. And then once you've done those comparisons, decide who it is that you are now today, embracing those two aspects, but not being one or the other or a confused combination, but a very clear and translucent version with both of these aspects put in. So this is a card of duality. This card doesn't usually get read this way, but this is what I'm receiving right now. Divine Feminine is really being called to embrace all aspects of herself as she moves forward from here on out. So that is the message for Divine Feminine. Beautifully said, Spirit. That was amazing. Let's get our last message now for Divine Masculine. What do you have for us, Creator of all things, as a message for Divine Masculines that are manifest physically in this three-dimensional world? What messages or insights do you have for our Divine Masculines today? Okay. This is funny. So I just want to say first, before I show you this card, that there's a few messages that come through here. Messages of divinity, messages of strength and power. The Divine Masculine is being asked to explore different aspects of himself in order to achieve the balance that he is getting from the universe right now. In order to embody that balance, he's being asked to explore different aspects of himself. And the aspect that is coming out here in this card is his feminine aspect. So the card for the Divine Masculine is the Queen of Rods. And the reason why I'm laughing is because not only is this card a perfect depiction right now of the Divine Feminine and the energy that she's in as well, but the message that comes with this card for the Divine Masculine is that, this manifestational power, everybody always thinks that the king is the one that's, it's the last card in, each for each suit in the tarot. You got the queen, then you have the king. But the way I see things is that you can't have creation, you can't have life without woman. You can't have life without a womb. And so the real manifestational powers, the real powers of creation, quite naturally come out of the feminine energy, the female. And so the Divine Masculine, in order to create this new life that he is now going to be embarking upon, this shift, right? The Five of Wands before, the Five of Rods, that shift in energy. In order to really shift that effectively, he really has to embrace his creative feminine aspects and allow for them to move through him in a feminine way. And by feminine, what I mean is very flowing, very like water, something that is easy. It might ebb, it might flow, it might increase, it might reduce, it might move. It's always there, but it's always in movement. It's not, jagged, sharp lines. It's not abrupt. It's not, hard. It's much more receiving. It's just allowing things to be. Water doesn't argue if you put it into a chalice that's round. It doesn't argue if you put it into a square box. It just takes on that shape, period. It just allows itself to become whatever it needs to be for that moment. And so that's the energy that the divine masculine is being asked here to embody, is the ability to move and transform, uh, research and discover new aspects and avenues of themselves. The sun here, so I'm noticing the sunflower. I mean, this whole card is yellow, which is amazing. It's, really amazing sun energy. But the fact that the sunflower is there says to me that the divine masculine is being asked to embrace a little bit more of nature and to be outside, to allow the energies of the physical manifestation that's already here to help him. Allow the energy to flow through him. Stand in the sun, feel the sun's warmth. Doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, doesn't matter what season it is. Sun's hot if the sun is hot. You stand outside in the snowstorm, maybe not a storm. Okay, let's say it's snowing outside. But you stand outside and there's snow and it's cold, you can still feel the warmth and the heat of the sun. The divine masculine is being asked to embody that energy, just to shine, to be, to allow those energies around him to penetrate him, do whatever they're going to do within him without any judgment, just allow it, and then to move forward with whatever the transformation is. His message is really, really like, it's almost like it's a secret. It's almost like it's this quiet, tiptoeing energy. It's not really something that's as, the divine feminine's message was like, boom, this is what you got to do, like, be on it, blah, blah, blah. The divine masculine's message here is more about allowing things to flow. Yeah. It's funny because 2 weeks ago when I was doing these readings, I didn't post them anywhere, but this message was more for the divine feminine, to allow her to sort of flow a little bit more easily and just to allow things to be however it is they are, and trust that the outcome is divinely orchestrated and it will be what it's supposed to be, regardless of her actions. So, but now, 2 weeks later, the divine masculine is now being asked to do the same thing, is to embody more of a feminine energy and be more allowing of things, not to have such a strong hold on things, but to allow things to transform and become on their own, and to trust that the universe is going to do all the things that it needs to do in order to allow him to be where he needs to be. This message for the divine masculine is coming from the divine feminine. She's telling him, listen, you are great. There are other things that you can receive greatness from and use that greatness for. So allow those things to penetrate you as well. She's saying that, you've done so well. Now it's time to embody a little bit of me. Now it's time to embody both aspects, that light and dark. So she's taking her own advice and giving it to him a little bit and saying, you've been moving through this three-dimensional sort of the dark zone kind of thing, figuring out how the world works, figuring out how best to use it for your advantage or to your advantage. But now it's time to also embrace the light and allow the light to transform you by spending time in the light, spending time in that fluid type of energy that's, consistently moving and shifting and adjusting, not because it wants to, not because it has to, but just because it can. And the circumstances around it are moving and shifting. And so it's that energy, that liquid between, that liquid light is just shifting with whatever is around it. Either way, it's light. Either way, it's, luminescent. Either way, it's love. But it can come in all sorts of different waves and ways. And so the message here is just to allow, to be more fluid and to allow. That's a beautiful message. So to all my divine masculines out there, keep pushing, but take on a little bit of the receiving mode. It's time to receive and it's time to flow. So those are your messages today from the creator of all things to and from our divine masculines and our divine feminines. I hope that that was helpful for somebody. Hello to my viewer. Hello, how are you? Thank you for watching. I hope this was beneficial in some way. I love you. I will be online, maybe not live every day, but I'm definitely going to be posting every single day from now moving forward. So I look forward to bringing forth the messages to you that are going to be as beneficial as they will be. And I hope that whatever resonates with you is something that you can move forward with and take into your life and create more love and abundance and happiness for this awesome planet we're living on. So yeah, that's that. Peace and love and light to all of you, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.